to the Actors Habitat. It's our very first Facebook event, so thank you for being here and thank you for bearing with us as we figure this whole thing out. Yay, technology, it's amazing. As I said, you're with the Actors Habitat, a brand new school that is bringing you some awesome classes you can't get anywhere else with instructors that you can't get anywhere else, including me, Cecilia Specht. Thank you for being here. And we're going to start tonight's event getting you audition ready with me and getting your headshot and resume ready so you can get that audition. It all starts with a headshot and resume. In this industry, it's your calling card, especially if they don't know you. The only way they get to know you, to even decide to bring you in for an audition or an interview with an agent, is by your headshot and resume. So let's jump right on in. Again, I'm Cecilia Specht. I'm going to use my resume as an example for you. This is the industry, I can talk. This is the industry standard for resumes. It's what a professional resume should look like. 3 columns, pretty much standard. You want your name right at the top. Basically, the general rule of thumb here is you want it to be easy for whoever's looking at your resume to find what it is they are interested in finding on your resume. That's why you want to stick to this standard format. It's basically the professional way to go. If you don't have it like this, you're not going to look professional and they're not going to want to trust you with an audition, let alone the job. So, 3 columns. First category. There you go. Well, let's start off. I'll back it up. Your name and your representation right here. If you have representation, those 2 things need to be at the top and they need to know how to contact you. If you have representation, you got to put their contact details. If you don't, just put yours right over here where you would have put the agency. After that, it's pretty much up to you, but it's very helpful to have the details of your height, hair color, and eyes. You might want to put union status if it's not already obvious. Like me, I've already done a lot of SAG stuff, so I don't need to put it on there. But if you're pretty new to the business and you want to let them know whether you're union or not, put it there. You can also choose to put social media if you like, and or websites. I've just got my name, my agency, and then the details of my height and hair color and eyes. After that, now we go to the categories. Now, the standard is whatever you have the most credits in usually is the category you put on top. Categories include television, film, a new category in the last few years, now accepted on resumes, web series, theater, and then you put things like training and skills at the bottom. I've got television at the top because it's what I've got the most of, and it's what I'm going to be auditioning for the most. So I've got my television right there, capitals. It's easy to find. If they want to find the film category, it's easy to find. Now the 3 columns in television, you want to put the project name, say what's my first project name, Succeeding at Life, or Criminal Minds, or MacGyver, whatever it is. Then the second column is where you put the credit you earned. That's easy to know. It's going to be on your contract. So if you're a series regular, you put series regular. If you're a co-star, you put co-star, or under 5, or whatever it is. It's in your contract. Please do not ever stretch the truth. Don't ever lie. It's too easy to find out if you're padding things out. A casting director who cast that show will know whether or not they made you a series regular or a co-star. And you don't want to earn the reputation as someone who can't be trusted. They just won't call you in again. It's unprofessional. So stick to the truth and represent yourself in a professional manner. The last column is for the production. Either the channel, such as Showtime or CBS or Awesomeness TV, and or the director. If you're in only 1 episode, you definitely want to include the director. CBS / John Smith. Showtime / Audra Day. That'd be neat. So if there's more than 1 episode you're in, just put the channel. And that pretty much covers it for television. Now when you go down to film, it's similar but different. You have the film in the first column, and in the second column, what you're going to do is the credit is either going to be principal, which means you are there with just a few lines, maybe in one scene or maybe a couple scenes. Your supporting is larger. That means you have several scenes and you're really supporting the lead actors, or you're the lead. Again, that's going to be in your contract. Don't pad out the truth. Again, you want to maintain professionalism and be honest. And that's as important a reputation to have in this industry as what you've done. And in that last column, where up in television it was the TV channel and director, here you'd put the film company and or director. So I have things like I was a principal on Little, so I had Little, which was the film. I was principal player, and Tina Gordon Chisholm was the director. Get it? Got it? Good? If you have any questions as we go along, feel free to put them in the chat, and hopefully the elves that are helping make this happen tonight will let me know. But possibly we can address any of the questions at the end. It's pretty straightforward. So next, web series. Just a few years back, people wouldn't include web series in its own category. Now it is. It is so common to have streaming and web series and just put it on there, especially since that's probably, if you're starting out, where you're going to have a bulk of your really great meaty roles in that category. That's where they're going to be. And then now people, the casting director or producers will understand when they look at it, or a potential agent, that it's a web series instead of some TV show they've never heard of or a film. And they know what that means, what kind of work you did and what kind of responsibility. And if you were a lead on a web series, that's pretty impressive as opposed to a lead in a short film. So web series, same thing. What's the production? And the credits would be the same as it would be for television or film. Usually if it's an ongoing web series, like it has several episodes, you would put it down like television credits. And right in that third column, again, the production company and or director. Moving on down, theater. Some of you might have the bulk of your credits here. With theater, the credits go a little differently. You have the name of the play, then you put the name of the character. If it's not a well-known play, like Romeo and Juliet, maybe it's Al's Diner, that's the name of the play. Well, you want to put the character you played and what that was, if it was the lead, so they know you were the lead or supporting character. Romeo and Juliet, if you played Juliet or Mrs. Capulet, Lady Capulet, they're gonna know what that means. If they don't, give them a little help. And in the third column, it's the theater company where you did it at. Pretty straightforward. And after that, you're gonna wanna go to your training. This is where you really want to include everything that makes you an actor, that supports your craft, that makes you special. If you did stunt training, you're gonna want to include it there. Any schools you went to and classes you took, Tech 1, Tech 2, and the people or the actors and teachers that you took from. So you'll put the class here, and then you'd put I'm gonna back up. Live event, I love this. So you put the school here, like I have the Groundlings, and what I took, improv. Now, if there's a famous person like Will Ferrell who taught the class, you'd go ahead and put as taught by Will Ferrell. Otherwise, just what it was. It could be Stanislavski technique or Meisner technique or the method, etc. And put all the different classes there, and any names again that would stand out, like Cecilia Specht or Martinez, etc. Skills, under special skills, this is where, again, anything that makes you special, you want to include there. Think about all the sports you did in high school or college. If you can still do that sport, put it down in special skills. That would be things like triathlon, if you do them, if you really do them. Marathon runner, swimmer, if you can really swim. And what level? You might put, if you are a gymnast and you competed in the Olympics, put that down. If it's more of an intermediate or basic level, put that down. I've got ballroom dancing, basic level. So they're not expecting me to go out and do Dancing with the Stars, but they know that maybe in a commercial, I can do a few steps. I think that's pretty, straightforward there. You do want to include things like if you have a passport, and if you can drive stick shift, Other things that might knitting, special skills that if someone said, do that now, can you show me that right now, that you can actually do it? If you can't, don't put it down. And lastly, on the bottom, oh, and in special skills, by the way, would also be where you put any accents or languages you speak. If you're fluent in Lithuanian, put that down. It's very interesting. Plus, it's a conversation starter for an agent who's considering you. They'd be like, Lithuanian? Give me a few words right now. By the way, you might have to do a few words right now. So again, only put it on your resume if you really can do it. And educate at the very, very bottom, I've got any additional education. I was an undergraduate at UC Berkeley and my degree was in political science. Well, I'm going to put that down here. I earned that degree. So if you got any other life skills or education that might be pertinent to someone, or just an interesting conversation starter for an agent, or just makes you a well-rounded person, put it down there. And the last thing I have on mine is I'm a life member of the Actors Studio. And that's me and my professional resume. I'm going to move forward and let's talk about headshots. So, headshots. Now, this is really crucial. Headshots are to represent you, especially to someone who doesn't know you. It's the only way they're going to get an idea of what you look like. And in acting, let's face it, it all comes down to, well, it's the only profession really that it really matters what you look like. So you want a headshot that looks like you. I know it sounds kind of silly to say that, but it's true. So many people, so many actors out there have headshots that don't look like them. Number one rule, you want to be able to walk through the door at the audition or have them turn on your self-tape and without even knowing your name, be able to match the headshot they saw to the person they see in front of them. That's a good headshot. I'm going to help guide you on what you're going to need. Now, let's talk about preparing for headshots. Have a conversation with your agent about the headshots you need. If you don't have an agent, no worries. But if you do, talk to them and ask them what they want from you. You also want to take a look around at different photographers. Ask your friends, look at their headshots. Who did they shoot with? Go online, ask your agent, who do they recommend? Take a look at the headshots. See if they photograph a lot of people like you. I would look for someone who's been shooting a lot of middle-aged women and or mature women. Maybe they do a lot of great looking younger men, but I want to make sure that they have experience of shooting someone who looks like me, so I'm going to get some great shots. You'll be really grateful that you've done that and looked around and got the right photographer for you. Have a conversation with the photographer, if you can, before the day about what you want and looks you're going for. Now that's going to come down to types. And Martinez is going to cover that with what he's going to talk about tonight. But you really want to be honest with yourself regarding the types you're going for. Take a look at television and online and in the films and commercials. And take a look at the things that you think you'd be right for. And you're going to dress accordingly for those roles for your headshots. So pull out of your wardrobe everything that might make you a young mom. I'm not going to go in for a young mom. I'm going to be a more mature mom. So I'm going to take a look at those commercials and TV shows and see what those older, mature moms are wearing. And I'm going to want to wear stuff like that in my headshots. If I'm going for something more professional, I want to take a look at those shows. I definitely get more upscale stuff a lot. So take a look at what those people are wearing on those shows and try to have some wardrobe for that. You're going to want some options. And you want clothing that is not going to distract from you, but make you pop and draw attention to your face. And in general, that means solid colors like what I have on today. Solid colors that accent my skin tone and maybe make my eyes pop. Find shirts and tops that match your eyes as well as complement your eyes. And you're going to want to layer, probably. Layering is always much more interesting, like I have a sweater over my shirt instead of just the shirt. You're going to want to bring, for every look you do, like my professional look, I'm going to want 3 to 5 options to show the photographer on the day. And I want to prep all my clothing a couple days beforehand. Believe me, you'll thank me later. Wash, fold, dry clean, hang up, and figure out how you're going to transport your clothing to the shoot so it doesn't get all rumpled and messed up on the way there. So have a game plan. Days beforehand, you want to hydrate and get plenty of rest. It's going to show in your skin and in your eyes, and hopefully no bags underneath the eyes. Hydration, 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 and rest. Lots of rest. Take care of your skin. Be on top of any skin regimen that you're doing, and make sure that you really are putting your best foot forward, as it were, with your hair and with your skin. Ladies, you're going to want to contact someone for hair and makeup. A lot of photographers will recommend someone they have in-house. Talk to them, see the photographs of the people they've done hair and makeup for. Again, I'm probably going to want to go with someone who has experience, with someone mature, older women, rather than just young men. Men, you pretty much don't need a hair and makeup person. In fact, you want to go with as little makeup as possible. It's always going to look a little funny on you if you wear makeup. But for men, I would really recommend you consider having a day or 3 growth beard, and get some scruffy shots at the beginning of your headshot shoot. Talk to the photographer ahead of time about this, and then at a certain point during the shoot, shave and get the clean shaven look as well. Ladies, that's probably not a concern. But ladies, you do want to talk to your hair and makeup person about the looks you're going for, and what look to start with, and regarding your hair, and whether you're going to build makeup up or take makeup down. Have that conversation with your hair and makeup person. It's really important that you get on the same page with them and the same page with your photographer. So those are the things you're going to want to prep before you go. Again, look at your types, be honest with yourself. Talk to your agent about what they need, and talk to the photographer about what you want on the day. It's important to know what backgrounds you're going to get. A solid background or something is so much less distracting than a busy background. I always tell my headshot photographers, look, I want something simple so that's not distracting from my face. If it's too distracting in the background and there's like lots of fences or greenery, sometimes it's pulling focus. And what I want is the focus to be here. So have, again, a conversation with your photographer about what they're going to do. Then some photographers like to go outside, some like to stay inside, and it's a matter of taste and preference. Take a look at their headshots and see what you like. Then on the day, be ready. Be early, be rested, bring your bottle of water. So you have everything you need, and maybe some snacks as well, so you don't get hungry and cranky and grumpy. Being early is what's being on time. So once you're there, remember, it's your time. Ask your photographer as you're going along, and again, have the conversation beforehand and say, I'm going to want to see how it's going and see if we're getting what I want. You also want to remember that you need to have a look in your eyes, not just a pretty picture. Because when casting's going through and taking a look at headshots, you want them to be arrested, stopped by your headshot. And the thing that does that is having a real look in your eyes that's being communicated through your eyes to the person who's looking at your headshot. To have just a pretty picture of you smiling, well, that's fine. But when there's a real thought there, that's what makes people stop and look. It's very helpful to write out ahead of time a list of phrases or thoughts that you want to have. While everything's busy and clicking away and the photographer's saying, do this and lean here and hold your head like that, that's their job, and they're great at that. You need to be in charge of your job, which is to have that thought in your eye, which is, am I going for the serious or the condescending boss, or the badass cop, or the soft and helpful, friendly person behind the counter? The phrase might be, how can I help you? I'm really happy to help you. And have that in your head. Or, what did you say? Oh, you think so? That's a different look in your eye. Have those phrases out and take the time with your photographer to say, okay, what is it we're going for now? Did we get enough of the condescending, bossy boss? Can I go for the warm, friendly boss now? Okay, let me get on that page. You'll save a lot of time and a lot of heartache with a lot of wasted photographs if you just take a moment to breathe and remember the thoughts in your eyes. Here's a couple of headshots I wanted to give you an example of, by the way. In the olden days, we used to have black and white headshots like that. The rule of thumb with headshots is you need to update your headshots about every 3 to 5 years max, or when you change your look drastically. For example, weight gain or weight loss, congratulations. Hair color change or stopping your hair color like I did during COVID. You need new headshots because it's got to look, what? Like you. This is a beautiful shot of Martinez, I think taken a while ago. It's a different format. It's black and white for one thing. It's set horizontally instead of vertically, and it's glossy. You really want to, and we're about there, aren't we, for on the day you receive your headshots, what you want for printing them up. Remember, headshots nowadays, pretty much, you still need the hard copy, but pretty much casting is seeing a thumbnail on their computer. So that image is going to be cropped really close, top of the chest to the head, and that's what they're going to see. So likewise, it should match with your headshot in the hard copy. This is a really good example of a recent headshot. It's matte, it's not glossy and shiny, you can see it easily. Basically, with the hard copy, you want to have just a few. You still want hard copies. You're going to need about 20 of them, and you need them to have the resume on back. 8.5 by 11 is what usually resumes are, but for actors, we need them to match and be put on the back of our headshots, and that means 8 by 10. You got to cut that resume down to 8 by 10 and put it on the back of your headshot. And the headshot should be matte, so it's not glossy and too difficult to look at, right, for someone to hold in their hand. But something nice and cropped like I showed in the other example, that's going to look really great in the thumbnail on a tiny little computer screen when someone's going through. And basically, when you look at your headshots and decide which ones you want, a really great trick is to cover up everything but your eyes. So go through the headshots looking only at the eyes and choose the ones where the eyes really grab you. Then uncover it and see what everything else looks like. That's going to save you a lot of time and really help you grab the headshots that's going to grab the attention of the decision makers out there. I love Facebook Live. I'm tripping over my words. Thank you so much for your patience with everything today. That's pretty much what you want as far as headshots and resumes to keep you up to date and being considered professionally as an actor in our industry. Give us a few moments and Martinez is going to take it from here.